Hey everybody, we're having a great time here at the Women of Wisdom Conference. Thank you so much for joining us here. And Chris Danis has given us the opportunity to talk to a lot of really cool people, taking their gifts, their talents out into the world. And when women come together like this, it's not powerful, it's epic. And the reason that it is it's a community. It's a collective. It's about collaborating and not competing. It's about creativity. And, when I get to chat with people, people like my very special guest, Carrie, joining me here today.
Thank you.
And we think about this conference, the world we live in, and our gifts. What comes to mind is, why are we doing this, right? Why are we doing this? Carrie Lafferty joining me here today. You're going to find out a whole lot about who she is and what she does. But there is a calling for each of us, right? What for you has called you to step forth with your gift to help others? And what kind of challenges did you have to overcome to do that? Good to have you.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Pat.
You bet.
I'm excited to be here. Wow, it's been a big journey for me, as I think it has been for everyone here.
Yeah.
Whether they're a presenter, whether they're attending, whether they're volunteering, and I'm sure for you yourself, because it's
no
true.
kidding.
It's true for all of us.
Yeah.
It's true for all of us walking the path in this Earth School as a human today, 2015. And I've been teaching at Women of Wisdom Conference for, I think this is my 4th or 5th year.
Right.
So this year I'm doing a 1-hour Qigong workshop in the rounds. The last few years I've done a 3-hour workshop. And, many obstacles and many challenges, and actually I won't even call them obstacles. They're like wonderful in places to drop in and find some juice.
Yeah.
Along the way. For me, in coming to this teaching this year, I don't really feel like there was deep challenges for me in coming here. It's actually relatively easy for me to share what it is that I love, to hold the space for others' transformation, and that's what I really feel like I'm here for. But if I go back through my path, absolutely.
Yeah.
There's moments where, do I really have something to offer? Do I really have something to say? Are people going to want to listen? Are
Boy,
people,
do I know that one.
Yeah, are people going to want to, be there in the presence of myself, holding space, in the presence of others, and be honest? Be willing to be vulnerable?
Wow.
Be willing to be authentic? Of course, I've asked all those questions, and they can still absolutely come up. And I feel a deep, deep, deep calling for this moment in time in our world, and especially as a woman walking this path, here now, that, boy, our world is calling for the divine feminine, and not just in women, but in men. And I feel that I now, in 30 years as a person who has held the space and really been the deep, deep gift of allowing myself to be a witness to so many people's transformation in so many different ways.
Boy.
It's a huge, huge gift. And I feel like that's so important, that this receptive quality of the feminine, this strength inside that receptive quality, this ability to witness and listen and nurture, and the empowerment that comes from that.
It's powerful,
Yeah.
isn't it? I mean, when I'm listening to, what you're saying and feeling the depth of your emotion around this. I mean, you asked me a question before we started, and I think you asked me, do you want to take a breath? And I said, this is like breathing for me.
Yeah.
I must confess, though, I picked radio for a reason, or it picked me. Getting behind a camera, that's a
Yeah.
whole nother thing.
Yeah.
But, you said something really interesting. The time right now we're living in is really calling for it. It's calling for us to stretch, to grow, to do something different, whatever that looks like.
Absolutely.
What are you finding, not only for yourself, Carrie, but for the people that you work with? What are you finding is calling them forward? You know what I mean? A lot of people have been moved by fear in the past, but there's something different that I think you mentioned. What do you sense it is?
Yeah, you know, it's a question I've been pondering, and it's a question that I think a lot of us are asking.
Right.
And I feel like there's a union between Gaia, between the biosphere, between this wisdom being
Yeah.
that we all are, Earth, humans, all the four-leggeds, all the swimming, all the insects, all the beings on this planet, all the trees, all the plants. There's a really strong, almost like genetic calling
Oh, right.
from this collective and from each individual cell and each individual being that says, you know, how that this calling is something like, come forth and be who you wholly are, who you can't be anything other than that.
Yes.
And we need this now. And it's really that we
What
need
is the
it.
sense of urgency? Because, I feel this way too.
Yeah.
Somebody actually explained it religiously to me or spiritually to me, in the fact that, we've had 2 blood moons in last year and 2 this year, 4 blood moons, all of them on Jewish holidays.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and the energy of that, and
It's deep and powerful.
Yeah.
Yes, synchronous.
It is.
Yeah.
And not in the terms of a, fatality, but
No.
something else. Tell me about what you sense it is. Is it a rebirthing? What is it?
Yeah, I think it's a rebirthing, and I think it's a, maybe I'd use a little different word than rebirthing, but it's actually a, like, calling into the fullness of our consciousness.
I like that better.
Yeah. So it is a rebirthing because we're coming into the divine humanness, the potential for that.
Yeah.
And really,
Wow.
Mother Earth and the Gaia, the Gaia-sphere and the biosphere, to use some of these noosphere, terms that are out there that speak about this living, breathing being of Earth, humans, and all the animals on this planet, is that it's not that the planet is in trouble. It's that the conditions for humanness to live is where the challenge is. And I think that's the calling. The calling is that Gaia wants us to come into our full existence,
Wow.
to move out of this dualistic existence, to move out of this hierarchical, possibly, patriarchy, controlled existence, and to come into our full alchemy and to live as true stewards of this planet. And that is the calling, and it actually is called forth from each cell. It's called forth from the cells of the kale sprouts as they come up out of the ground. It's called forth from eagle. It's called forth from cougar. It's called forth from you. It's called forth from me. It's called forth from all of us, from the collective. It's the breathing pulse for us all to live in our full geneticness.
What's interesting is, you and I have gone to a few of these.
Yeah.
Over time. We went to a few of these. But I'll tell you what I'm struck by, and I don't know, maybe it's just me opening my eyes up a little bit more. But it's also evident, of course, in Jessica. What I'm noticing is the blending of multi-generational goddesses here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It used to
And
be
multicultural.
multicultural,
Yeah, right.
multi-generational.
Yeah.
People that are from, jewelry to psychic readings. It doesn't matter. I don't know if I've been asleep in previous years and haven't seen it, but it seems more obvious to me. 20-year-old, 70-year-old in the same circle. And I think that's something that I've noticed that's a bit different for me, at least. I don't know. What's
This
your
year.
take on it? Yeah.
This year?
Yeah, this year.
You know, today's my first day at the conference this year.
Yeah.
I wasn't here on Thursday or Friday. So this morning in the circle, to me, it felt like a similar mix as it has at points in the past
Yeah,
in this conference. Although I remember having a conversation with a group of women last year at the conference. And Chris was there, Chris Stanis, and I don't remember who else was there, but several, you know, in the circle leader, and they were really saying, you know, we really want to reach out to the young women in Seattle, in the community. So I wonder if you're feeling some of that manifestation.
Oh yeah, I definitely am. And you know, it's not that we haven't had that beautiful, beautiful mix in previous years. But I guess what I'm noticing is that, you know, the powerful voices are coming through equally across generations.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, it's honoring actually.
Yeah, attending other events in town that, you know, cover a gamut of a lot of things. I remember an event on Martin Luther King that I attended up on Capitol Hill. And in that one, boy, did I feel that.
Yes.
Because there was 3 young, I mean, one of them was probably 19, women of, all 3 women of color, and really calling forth these beautiful strength, like lioness, but at the same time, their femininity was just, you know, so shining through that, and that was a really calling forth of this young female leadership and strength, because that's the generation that is, you know, really has to really step forward, because
It's our
the
future.
stakes are super high for all of us, but they have longer on this planet, you know, and the stakes are super, super high. I hold tons of inspiration and hope for the younger generation.
I want to ask you a question. You know, if you could go back, I've recently thought about this for myself as I'm starting to write about, you know, write a little bit about this journey.
Yeah.
Do you ever think that this is where you'd be? I mean, I got to say for myself, the answer is no. But no, I never thought in a million years that I'd be sitting here in front of a bunch of cameras talking to somebody as gifted as you. No, I never thought that. But, you know, some people do, you know that. You know, some people know it early.
Yeah, you know, on some levels, like on some logistical levels, like, yeah, that I thought that I'd be sitting here in front of a bunch of cameras, because that younger part of me that, you know, didn't answer the calling or being fearful of, you know, being in front of people maybe in the beginning, that part of me would think, oh, I would never do that. But the part of me that is my soul and my spirit, and the part of me that just moves forth for me to express who I am from a place of love and authenticness, and from a place of non-attachment, of whether that be, quote, good or good enough or the best or out there for millions to see, but the part that just needs to move forward and express and hold the space for who it is that comes into my sphere, and to really respond from that authentic place in that moment. That part knows that it just needs to keep growing and it needs to keep evolving. So from that level, I would say that I haven't really thought about it. It's just like I just keep finding myself in a new place that is novel and new, but yet has all these kinds of opportunities.
I know, me too.
Yeah, and there's constraints there too that I have to navigate, or I don't have to, but I choose to. And that part just feels like, well, this is just what is the next moment to find the juice in.
I know.
Yeah.
I want to ask you this. I want to thank you for spending some time with us today.
Absolutely.
I want to make sure folks know how to find out more about you, and I would love for you to give them your website and so forth. And then I want to ask you one last question.
Yeah.
You know, what is your vision for a better world? First, give everybody your information. I want to make sure everybody knows how to connect with you personally.
Okay. So my website is movementfromwithin.net. And my name's Carrie Lafferty, and I am a physical therapist by original training, but I really work in embodied awareness as a Feldenkrais teacher and as a Qigong teacher, and lead some retreats with really simple earth-based shamanic practices.
Awesome.
So that website is the best one. You can also find me at feldenkraisteachersinseattle.com.
Great.
Yeah.
Better world. What's your vision?
Better world. You know, I think it's like everything in the world is it's really simple. It's really simple, but it's highly, highly complex in the manifestation of that. And simply, it's that our world is fueled and lived by and infused by and only co-created by love.
Oh,
That it's
beautiful.
not led by fear.
Right. Wow.
And that doesn't mean that there are moments of challenge that show up, but that there's an embodied awareness and that we're able to make those choices by actually dropping in. And us as humans then are truly, truly the stewards of this Gaia sphere and all the other beings that we really, I believe, are here to be stewards of, the plant beings, the animal beings, and our Mother Earth, who is the only source of nutrition and healing and our life force that we have.
Wow.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Carrie, thank
Yeah.
you so much.
Thank
It was
you.
great. Thank you
Yes.
for taking time and coming
Absolutely.
by. Thank you. We're going to take a short break, everyone. We'll be back.